All right. So this is the Community Preservation Committee meeting for Tuesday, November 16th. This meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with state open meeting law, consistent with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. This meeting will be conducted by remote participation. If you are calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you are watching on a computer or device, there is a raise hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. Please use either of these options during oral communications to be recognized to speak. And then we will start off with a roll call of who's here. Hank McCarl.
Got it.
Matt Lumberg.
Here.
Carrie McKenna.
Here.
Heidi Wakeman.
Here.
Jennifer Lee Levitz Aronson.
Here.
Bill Cuff.
Present.
Bob Whitmarsh.
Here.
And Pam Toby here. So the first item on the agenda is to review the meeting minutes from October 19th. Matt had finished them up and sent them around probably 45 minutes ago. So I don't know if everyone had an opportunity to review them. Did everyone get a chance to look at them?
I did.
Awesome.
Yes, you did a nice job, Matt.
I know, good work, Matt.
Flattery will get you everywhere. I guess I'll do this week's.
There you go. So do we have a motion? Do any motion to approve or any comments or anything like that?
I thought
Make a
they were
motion to approve.
Okay.
second.
Great. So any discussion? All right, so we'll do a quick roll call. I'm just going to go in order of my screen. Sorry if that's annoying, Matt. Hank.
Okay.
Pam. Yes. Matt.
Yes.
Carrie.
Yes.
Heidi.
Abstain. I was absent, so
Oh, that's a
I'm
good point.
abstaining. Or-
Can I change? I was absent too, so I should probably abstain as well. Sorry. Jennifer Lee.
Yes.
Okay. Bill
Yes.
and Bob.
Yes.
All right, so those are all set and approved. The next item on the agenda is the off-cycle application from Action Inc. This would be their third off-cycle application. We haven't seen any formal request or anything from them yet, but we received their quarterly report a few weeks ago that Matt forwarded around again a little bit ago. They are interested in submitting an off-cycle application and are interested to see if the committee would be willing to kind of accept the application to review. I don't know if everyone had an opportunity to look at their quarterly report, but Jennifer Lee, did you have a point? Sorry.
No, I wanted to speak to it when you're ready.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, well, I think that they should absolutely come in whenever they want and ask for as much money as they want. And whatever we can reasonably agree to, we should. So that's what I think.
Yeah. And their program so far, they've served 35 households. It seems like there's clearly still a need for it, and they're doing great work. So
Clearly.
yeah. So I think we need to take
I'm speaking partially on behalf of. No, I'm speaking partially on behalf, of course, I'm representing the Housing Authority. So we have a lot of information about the need for this kind of housing. There's never enough. And given there are many people who still don't have the money to pay for. Many of them are lucky to have a rent to need to pay.
Right.
Because there's still a housing shortage. And I just think that in that area, we should support them as much as we possibly can. That's it. Thank you.
So I don't know if anyone else from the committee has anything to say, but Allison from Action Inc. is actually attending. So she has her hand raised. If everyone's okay, if she joins to add a bit.
Yes. Let's have her speak, please.
So I forgive me if I do this wrong, but I think I promote her to panelist. Right? Yeah, wish me luck.
Good luck.
Here she is.
Good job.
Thank you, guys. Hi, Allison, how are you?
Hi, good. Thank you for all for considering our request to submit a request. And I just wanted to say that it's been such a huge help to the clients that we serve to receive these 2 grants so far. And I wanted to confirm what was already discussed, that we do continue to see a significant need within the community, and that over the last 2 months alone, we've had over 60 Gloucester households requesting assistance with rental assistance from us, some of which has been security deposits, which we fulfill through other funds, but a lot of it has been for rental assistance. And that we continue leveraging these funds with funds from other sources as well, some private foundations that are also supporting us, but that we're going through those funds just as quickly and going back to those funders to request renewals as well. But having the city support behind this has been a huge benefit for the community and for our clients. And we're really grateful to even have the opportunity to have this considered again. So just wanted to say that the need continues to still be there, and it still continues to make a huge difference in the lives of the clients that we're working with.
I do have another comment. Let's see if I'm right on this, or tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of the people who get these particular funds have no other source for this aid. There's no other organization or institution that is they can get to. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. And we've some of the other rental assistance funds that we have they aren't able to access. So we did receive some HUD home funds through the North Shore Home Consortium, but there are a number of requirements that come with those funds. So often that's too high barrier for people because they can't get the documentation from their landlord or whatever the case may be. And there really are no other agencies in the community that have this type of flexible funding for rental assistance available. So that is absolutely true. And one other thing that I meant to mention too was one of the things that I think is part of the biggest impact is that it's truly for most people one-time assistance. It's people are in a tough spot and they're on the verge of being evicted and losing their housing, and they just need help for 3 months, and then they're in a much better spot. So between the 2 grants of that we've received from the city, which has been over 60 households, only 5 of them have needed a second round of assistance. So it really, we're really seeing that the one-time assistance makes a big difference.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I do.
Allison,
Go ahead,
I had a
Bill.
quick, I just had a quick, Allison, thank you for joining us this evening. And I just recall from our last month's meeting, we talked a little bit about some of the money that's left in some of the accounts. And I believe, Pam, that the action had $50,000 remaining that was needed to be completed by the end of the year. I don't know if what the plan for that is going to be, or if it's already been used.
So at this point, we have less than $7,000 remaining. I think our fiscal department just they invoice on a quarterly basis, but we're spending the money on a bi-weekly basis when we cut checks. So they just haven't caught up quite with the invoicing with where we are in real time for allocating it.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update. And then my second question was going to be, when do you think you'll be getting your grant application in?
We could get it in as soon as possible. So I have most of the numbers to update based on information that we pulled together for this meeting, and most of the narrative is the same. So we could submit it by the end of the week.
Okay, thank you. Man,
We need to consider a special meeting to approve that, or can we handle it with a regular time next month?
Either one. last meeting, we had talked about this before we knew about actions or potential requests. We talked about not having a December meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most important thing we've got, and I think whenever we're ready, we should call it. I mean, if we're flexible enough, don't you think, Hank? I don't see any reason to wait a month.
No, I agree. Rushing it up against the December holidays is
Right.
not necessary.
Yeah, so I think, and Allison, thanks for joining us tonight. You've done a previous application to the CPC. It's pretty much going to be the same thing. Is your amount going to be the same?
We would intend to keep the amount the same, yes.
Okay. Then I think the application process is really straightforward. When you went through last time, did Jamie have you use the Neighborly system that they have online now?
No.
Okay. I don't think, I mean, tell me guys, I don't think that's necessary. We don't require it. I mean, if it's really just an update of the third round application that Action did, I think it's faster for Allison to get it done. I mean, I don't think we require it, right?
Yeah, I would assume we don't require it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And it would probably be faster just to get the Word document or whatever.
yeah,
directly.
absolutely. So I think the right process, Allison, is update and get a proposal in, and just base it on exactly the same one you did for the third round, and send it to, what's the email address now, Pam? Because it's not Jamie's, it's Grants at
Yeah, it's grants at Gloucester, I think.
dash
that's-
ma.gov.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have that, so I can send it there.
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's all we need to do, and we'll know, and we'll also let Paul Russo know that it's coming.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's great. Gosh, there was a question I had for you, Allison. Oh, I know what it was. Are you still having any success with other funding sources? You mentioned Tides Foundation, FEMA previously, but I don't know if they're available now.
So we just submitted a renewal request to the Tides Foundation last week. And we have not the FEMA funds we've received. They have an unusual kind of annual timing for the reporting cycle, request cycle. So we haven't been able to request new funds from them yet. But we have received some additional CSBG CARES funds from DHCD that we have set aside for this purpose as well. So and some additional DHCD discretionary funds that we have also put towards this. So we've been moving other funds in this direction when we can, but those funds are for all 5 towns that we serve. And so there's not quite as much of an impact for Gloucester residents through that assistance.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. My screen was frozen for a moment when someone answered the question. Is it the same amount that you're requesting?
Our intention would be to request the same amount, yes.
And did anyone ask you why not more?
No one asks that question, no.
Would you use more?
We could certainly use more. My impression from previous meetings was that this was an amount that the committee was comfortable with us asking and then coming back kind of as we've been doing. So that was really our thinking behind keeping the request the same, but we can also always spend more based on, the needs that we're seeing. But we're also happy to continue doing it this way.
I'll just bring up that we got emails earlier today that we've received more. We've received a nice large amount from the state. And I'm putting it out there as a possibility that we could consider allocating more for this request than we have before.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say something?
I would say this, if I would also encourage you to ask for more this round, Allison. we've got to get other information from the city and how, which funds they come bucketed out of. But, if we can't give you everything we ask for, we can certainly ratchet it back to what you've gotten before. So I would encourage you to ask for more. Not 100% sure we'll get it, but I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to either.
Sure, we can certainly do that. And that would be really, a huge help if that was an option. So we would be happy to do that. I did have one question too. So our past two proposals have been very specifically related to households that have had COVID related hardships. And so would the committee like us to continue having it be COVID related, or would the committee be amenable to us making a little bit more broad in our proposal? So potentially to include not just COVID related households, but households that have had unforeseen job loss or medical expenses for non-COVID related reasons.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I
likewise.
think that,
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it's time to do that.
I agree.
that making something COVID related is sort of iffy. It could be COVID related or maybe just barely COVID related, but a lot of people have lost work because of all kinds of reasons that might be COVID related, but might not be directly. So I think that making it a little broader would be helpful.
I would agree.
Great.
I also agree.
That would be a huge help to us. That would be sort of an ideal situation for us. So we would be very happy to submit that proposal.
Thank you.
It isn't often that you come to an organization and they tell you to ask for more money. But, I think it's
No, it doesn't usually happen.
What a fun committee.
we've always been short on housing requests, and when we can be of assistance of this nature, I think we're always willing to listen to what the needs are.
Well, that's really great to hear. And I know we are constantly trying to find more resources for people in this area. So, staff are going to be thrilled to hear how this meeting went. So, yeah, this is really a huge help to us and the clients that we're seeing and the community as a whole. So it's really great.
That's awesome. Does anyone have any other questions or?
Not me. My only one more comment, Allison, get it in as soon as you can. So we'll keep it moving right along.
Absolutely.
Okay, so do we need to do a vote just to say that we'll accept the off-cycle application, or just to be safe?
I think so. Yeah, I honestly, I think so. I make a motion that the committee accept an off-cycle application for CPC funding from Action Incorporated.
Second,
All right, any discussion? Okay, so let's do a quick roll call. Hank,
Okay, yes.
Pam, yes. Matt,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes,
Heidi,
Yes.
Jennifer Lee,
Yes.
Bill,
yes.
and Bob.
Yes.
All right, awesome. All right, Allison, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to your application.
Thank you all so much. We really, really appreciate it. So.
bye now.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
have a good night. Thank
you.
you. All right, so we're just moving along. So the next one is administrative update. So I don't know, Jamie usually does these, but Jamie's not here, obviously. So as you all know, I guess one administrative update is Jamie is no longer with us. So we will be flying solo for a little bit with some support, obviously, from Paul Russo and the rest of the grants office. So I don't know, Matt, if you have any other updates. I think Action Inc. was one of them. Obviously, we just went over that. So I don't know. if you have anything.
I actually do have, I wanted to take this part of the agenda to talk about a couple of quick things. So I'm glad that, well, I was only partially glad that I had to do the minutes this week, but it reminded me of everything we talked about last month, which I thought didn't have a whole lot of action items in it, but it did, and a lot of them were on Jamie. And they all revolved around all of these active projects we have that have contract expiration dates of December 31st. And I said I'd follow up on one of them, which I did not. And Jamie took the rest of them, which she did not. So I wanted to suggest that I'll take the ball on these initially, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think, Pam, tell me if this makes sense. I thought I'd call Chip Payson and say, look, is this a big deal that we have to address, that these contracts the city has with these agencies, grantees, has an expiration date that says funds need to be spent by the 31st? And if so, is there just some simple contract extension one pager that we can put together and have these people sign to push it out, and see what Chip says, and then go to Paul and say, hey, Paul, we got to get hold of all these people and either close their project or get the extension done. Does that make sense to everybody? Because I don't think this is one we need to delegate to all sorts of people. It's just one thing to 9 people and it's done.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Let's kind of streamline it.
So I'll start it, and if I need help from anybody, which I might, depending on contacts on a project, if I can't find their contacts, or if Paul can't, some of you guys might know them. I'll get back to you via email.
Okay.
Well, Matt, I'm just looking at, there's 9 of those, so.
Yeah.
I think it's great if you want to take all 9, but if you want to divvy some of those up.
Okay.
I think your suggestion of contacting Chip to find out what's necessary by the end of the year is a great idea. But if we do have to do something, I mean, we only got 5 weeks left in the year.
Right.
And I know you're traveling, so if you've got to do 9 of them, it may be a little bit too much. That's
Yeah,
all.
well, thank you, Bill, and I'll probably take you up on that. In fact, one thought is back a couple of, 5 months ago, when we first had applications, we divvied up contacts. Like Carrie, you took the church, the Anscombe Church and the Adventure. If in fact we need to contact each one of these people and Paul doesn't have the contacts, then maybe I'll come back to each of you to at least reach out and say, here's the contract extension doc. Can you get this signed and get it back to us?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help out with that and others if you need it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so ball in my court. I promise I won't drop it like I did Maritime Railway last time. I'm going to get it done this week. Good. That was the only thing I had on administrative. Oh, the only other thing on administrative update is, we've got Paul. In our last meeting, I think Jennifer Lee asked, so when is the public meeting where awards will be announced and approved by the city council? And Jamie said, free cash has to be certified by the state of Massachusetts. And then the next city council meeting, they allocate that, and then they also approve our stuff. And she said, that's probably going to be by the end of November. To my knowledge, none of that has happened yet. I don't think free cash has been certified by the state yet, so that meeting is still not scheduled. But the reason I bring it up is that that's the next thing on our agenda. And then after that, Jamie suggested that we invite Kenny Costa, the city auditor, to join our January meeting, just to get us back into the timeline that he works from in the budget process. Anyway, I think we just need to make sure we find out when free cash is certified and when that city council meeting gets scheduled, which Jamie would have told us about before. We just probably got to be a little bit more active about finding out when it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I do have a couple comments and a question. I thought, Matt, you brought up, looking at the notes from last month, that the DPW was going to have an off-cycle request coming in as well on Stage Fort Park.
That's a
by the end of
maybe.
the year.
Yeah, that was a maybe. I've heard nothing since then.
Okay.
The next step in that will drive that is that they have to finish their master design project which is currently an active project. And Mike Hale said that that would be sometime before the end of the year, and that would be followed fairly quickly by a proposal for the build out. But I haven't heard back from them on that.
Okay. And then the second thing, this is just a thought. I know we brought up the neighborly software and putting the applications in there. And my thought, again, when I joined the committee, that everything was right there. It was so convenient and well organized. And
Yeah.
especially with the fact that we don't have support from an administrative standpoint, I think it would make sense to drive as many people as we can to utilize that software.
Yep.
So we can keep it very tight and easy for us to follow and manage.
I
Yeah.
agreed. And I just, with respect to action, since Allison hadn't used it before and time is tight, that's, I mean, perhaps I found their previous third round application. It's a 1-page document. So I think she'll get it in. We should make sure that if not me or Pam, at least Paul Russo actually puts it into Neighborly. So we're tracking everything through it.
Yeah, because I just got concerned after we talked to them. I looked at the information packet and it said that paper applications would no longer be accepted. So I just want to make sure that, you know, that even if they send a Word doc, that it's still considered like legitimately accepted. If it's, I just want to make sure that we don't kind of
Right.
like.
Yeah, you know, I actually did go on to the city website and saw their off-cycle application from last February. They did a very nice job on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else? Any other administrative updates?
I have, so there's a new contact at Schooner Adventure. I'm not quite sure who I need to, should I just send that to Paul Russo?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then he can probably update their Neighborly.
Do you know,
Account.
what is his email? Would it be just prusso at,
Yep.
Yes, I believe so.
It is prusso@gloucester-ma.gov.
all right, do you guys want to be marked on that? or not?
Please.
Yeah, just
Okay.
that'd be awesome.
Yep.
Okay,
I just wanted to say that I went to the Young Legends street hockey Saturday. open day,
Awesome.
And
great.
well, A, it was a beautiful day, and B, it's such an exciting project. And part of me wanted to be thanked along with all the other like things, or, you know, not me personally, but CPC was not formally thanked. And that's okay. But I just wanted to say it's a great project, and it's been, if you haven't driven by, take a look at it. But it's a great project, and I'm really happy to be part of that. And I just feel like things are still rough in the world in Gloucester. And so when we can celebrate successes like this housing grant, like the Young Legends thing showing up, that's really important for me. So I was happy to do it, and they were really happy that I was there. And I got an email from Carl Ellis Jr., or I think it's Jr., who is the organizer, and he just said, let's talk more. So I think he's identifying me as open space recreation chair to figure out extra funding, how to help. But I just wanted to share that good news with folks. And then I was going to say, we have a new administration. So that's like, we have new city councilors, we have a new mayor. And so I feel like it's just another opportunity to meet, to talk, to, you know, figure out who they are. And it's, you know, it's a new time. And I believe we'll all be invited to the inauguration as members of the commissions, because if you don't go, it can be a fun thing to do or partake in. So I just wanted to say those things. And then I also wanted to ask if anybody had gone to the housing where Cameron's was. Has anybody gone inside and seen those units? Because we helped fund those also. And I don't know, I guess I was just kind of curious more than anything,
Yeah.
if people had gone inside.
I have not.
Yeah.
Do we get to put up those signs about, we used to have the signs that showed that we put funding into things and asked people to post them after they get the money.
Yeah.
I think we still have those signs, don't we, Matt?
I think so. Well, actually, I don't know because
I assume so. I think Jamie really kind of tackled that. So we should probably I'll touch base with Jill or with Paul and see kind of
I
how we.
brought one of the signs back to Jamie
yeah.
earlier this year, so I know she's got at least one.
Yeah, I can text Jamie too and see what the deal with that is, just so
I
she
think
doesn't
that's
forget
a great
about us.
idea, just to get us some more recognition in the community. You know, when I first joined, we were trying to do that little campaign where we sort of got the word out about who we are, what we do, these funds are available. And I think the more we can put those signs out there, I think the better for us and the community. It might just be a tickler to kind of look into, oh, what is this? Is anything I can use this for? And yeah, actually, I find that really sad, Heidi, that that they were not mentioned, or the city wasn't mentioned. I feel like that we should have been. And again, if for no other reason, just to get some awareness out there in the community of who we are and what we do, and that these funds are available for different things.
Well, when we are omitted and we have committed funds, something does need to be said for whoever the leadership is of the organization to understand that the people in the community like to know where their money is spent. And if we are putting our money into things which they feel are, deserving, it's just polite to thank the people that have given you money across the board.
Yeah.
They don't always think about it. And sometimes it's like this one, we made grants some time ago and then people have had time to forget about where they got the money from sometimes.
Well, there's going to be another ceremony on, I believe, November 30th. So this was like the golden shovel thing. So,
Oh, yeah.
but it was really lovely. And again, it was a nice day, but Mayor-elect Virga was there, as was Mayor Romeo Taken. And so it was nice. And Steve LeBlanc and Melissa Cox were there. But I just have to, we have given them money, or was there like we have, right? I feel like
100,000.
How much?
100,000.
Wow.
100.
Okay, that's a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah. And Heidi, thank you, number one, for sharing this, and thank you for going, because
Yeah.
you're right. I think there should be a presence, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I couldn't go that day. And the big question was, how was the show?
How was the play? The play was
Yes.
awesome.
Good.
I'm also on the
sounded-
writer's block right now, so I'm all over KFAN. But yeah, I did an interview with John Ronan about poetry, and it's on YouTube. So I'll send a link. You can watch it. It's about poetry at O'Malley and then my own poetry. So if you're interested in that, but the play was a very positive experience for me. And as I said, or maybe I didn't say, but I played the voice of Alexa. So I was off stage and I didn't have to memorize my lines. So it's perfect.
It's a dream situation.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun. So thank you for
It's one of
asking.
the reasons, go ahead.
What's
It's
that?
one of the reasons I don't act anymore. I can't remember my lines.
Yes, I get it. Yeah. So
Ad
Yeah.
hoc,
yeah.
ad lib.
But there was a nice write-up on the paper about the shovel ceremony. Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Was the Community Preservation Committee mentioned in there?
I think it was, but maybe that's just my optimistic thinking.
Yeah.
It could be. Well, I think two takeaways. One, Heidi, I think absolutely, maybe to our January meeting after they are inaugurated, we invite new city councilors and Greg to join a CPC meeting for a brief overview of how it works and what we do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
that's a
idea.
good idea.
I think
I
that's
don't know
great.
whether we've ever done that before, but it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, especially this year where we've got so many new councilors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really.
And,
Also, about the publicity that we did, maybe after the final awarding, it would be a good time to do another publicity shot to make sure that we announce it in every way possible.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to start that ahead of time instead of kind of
Hmm,
mad dash.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, first thing that comes to my mind is a letter to the Gloucester Times editor.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Saying who we are, what we do, awardees, and then list the committee members.
Good idea.
Good. Well, hopefully that will be not too much longer than at the end of November.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
From-
So you guys had mentioned at the last meeting that you had maybe talked about skipping December, but I think we'll see kind of when Action Inc. comes in, and then maybe we reevaluate the meeting date.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think we should just do it if and when it comes in. Unless, well, let's see.
Yeah, we just have to have the time, enough notification to post the meeting notice 48
Right.
business hours. So
Right. And
Yeah,
how much,
that's right.
what is that typically, Pam?
Deadlines.
it's 48 business hours.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it would have to be posted, I think, the Friday. If we did Tuesday, it'd be the Friday before.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not that bad, but
Right. Okey doke. Because the only other things I had in my notes that we need to handle next is, well, these extension follow-ups, but we don't need to meet to get after that. And then reviewing the Gloucester CPC plan, but those are both January in my view. I think the only reason we should get together is for action. Good. Well, that could
so
be 2 weeks from now, or that could be a month from now. So thank you for your flexibility.
yeah, so we'll circle back once we get that and kind of get a sense of when everyone's free to meet. Just so that we're sure we have quorum and we have time to get the meeting posted and get the link to join. So every time I forget. Do we need a motion to adjourn?
You
Let's see
got
what we
it.
do.
Yes, we do.
Okay, there we go. So we got one from Hank. Can we get a second?
I'll
Second,
second it.
Awesome. So, and I don't think we'll do a roll call just to be safe because I never remember. Hank,
Yes.
Pam, yes. Matt,
Yes.
Carrie,
yes.
Heidi,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
and Jennifer Lee.
Yes.
All right, everyone. We will see you in December.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
everyone.
Oh, happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. I
Giving
forgot about that.
everybody.
Have a nice
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Okay.
Bye,
Thanksgiving.
guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.